Welcome to...
Ate up the whole minute. Good for you.
All right, people. Thank you guys for joining. Hey, Mr. Kamala. Hey, Rita.
Good evening. What are we learning today?
All kind of shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Save every day. Save and be clean.
Gotta turn it down.
Every day with shenanigans. Where is Shawna?
She's actually on a call. All right, here we go, people.
Welcome to Season 11 of Airhead Institute, your 45-minute AI power-up at noon Eastern. This month, we are broadcasting live across all the socials and Zoom. If you're new here, join our free AI community to grow alongside other curious minds and give your kids a head start by enrolling them in the Airhead after-school program. Here is April's weekly lineup. Mondays, we take the training wheels off and run AI locally in the local LLM Forge. Tuesdays, we explore accessible AI apps for rapid learning and self-improvement in the Learner's Toolkit. Wednesdays, we build a company of one from scratch in Solopreneur Systems. Thursdays, we uncover bite-sized productivity and creative tools in Hidden AI App Showcase. Fridays, we push the boundaries of human longevity and biohacking in the Biological Upgrade. We're making AI practical, powerful, and accessible for everyone. No tech background? No problem. Whether you're a student, professional, or lifelong learner, just show up. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind.
Welcome again to Season 11 of Airhead Institute. Today is episode 1 of yet another Hidden AI App Showcase. I'm AI Johnny, and I've got something for you guys in Hollywood. Are you still using AI to save a few minutes? Today, the elite use AI to replace entire production houses. The competition is currently turning single sentences into Hollywood-grade cinema, while many are still fighting with stock footage. Today, we aren't just talking about some tools. We're handing you the keys to high-fidelity B-roll generation with native audio. This isn't a shortcut. It's a total workflow collapse. In 45 minutes, the gap between concept and cinematic reality just disappears. And if you aren't using this by yesterday, you're already behind. To show you how, we have AI Junior here. I found him at 3 a.m. trying to prompt a 4-hour silent film about a potato. He's out of coffee and is officially vibrating, but he's the only human being alive who knows knows about the full story of the mute potato. Take it away, AI Junior. Silently, please.
AI Johnny, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. That was so awesome. Hey, Gianna Achetti, we actually see you in the live stream. We also see everybody else in the live stream as well. So look, AI Johnny, latent space does weird things to a potato, okay? I regret nothing. Welcome back to class, everyone. This is season 11, and this is an immersive class. You may not understand everything right out the gate, but stick with us daily, and you will be fluent in no time. If you don't understand native audio or other concepts you're going to hear of today, don't get lost. It just means that when I mention tokens or diffusion models, again, don't panic. Make the connection to this AI class. If you are on Zoom, unmute yourselves, ask your questions real time. If you're on socials, there's about a 30-second delay. So ask your questions early. We are not ignoring you. We're in week 1 of our April sprints, so kicking off Thursday's series focused entirely on bite-sized previews of mind-blowing productivity and creativity tools.
Before we even touch the software today, we went... Oh, go ahead.
No, we just got a comment that says, you are the best YouTuber ever. Love it. Thank you so much, Gianna. Go ahead, yeah, Johnny.
And I thought you had the hiccups. Before we even touched the software today, we went straight to an official large language model, Google Gemini, and we asked this large language model to analyze the documentation for the new video upgrades for us. I asked it, what is the single most mind-blowing fact about this Google Veo upgrade right now?
Yeah, so AI Johnny, we're actually going to be dropping news in the news segment. But what's funny is we actually made this class and before this news dropped. So we actually on the fly made some changes so we can actually let people know about this. So Veo just actually Google or Gemini just dropped their latest version of Veo. They actually dropped Veo 3.1 fast. So we're gonna get more into the news segment, but we're gonna actually show you one feature that we think is a killer feature. AI Adrian, thanks for joining. We think it's a one killer feature. So Gemini actually is trained on older data. So it actually mentioned things like native audio and all those things. It doesn't have the new stuff that's actually dropped. So amazing things coming from Gemini now. So AI Jenny, let's jump into the wow factor.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yep. All right, guys. So let's think of it this way. So first of all, we're going to go over to Flow, and if you don't have know where Flow is, I'm gonna drop it in the chat so everyone can actually play along at home. All right, so that is actual Flow. Now, because we're actually we're going to Flow, we're gonna explain a little bit what Flow is a little bit later. So let's just get to the wow factor and see what's actually going on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up Flow, and we are going to go ahead and switch to video generation. We're gonna say ingredients. We're gonna say light, right? And what we're gonna do is we are going to drop in a prompt. Now, the prompt is I will drop it here for you so you guys can actually see and follow along. So, yeah, Jen, I'm going to read the prompt. It might be a little bit small, but we are asking the inference to generate. Oh, I copied the wrong thing. One second. Cinematic. Oh, there you go. All right, guys. I actually dropped it. And we're going to drop this here. Okay, so the actual prompt is the following. The prompt says a cinematic 16:9 drone shot flying through a neon city at night, audio futuristic, whooshing, distant sirens, large, low bass hum, right? So what we're actually doing here is, again, something relatively simple. But what we're doing is, let me make this a little smaller because it actually only shows one at a time. What we're actually doing is we're actually going to a text to video model. We're actually telling it to give us a cinematic drone shot flying through a neon city. We don't give much details. It just goes ahead and figure it out. And then because it actually figures it out, it will be able to come back. Now, this is actually using the newest model, and that is Veo 3.1 Fast Lite. Okay, so AI Johnny, this news only dropped yesterday. We're gonna get more to it on a new segment. So as things come back, we're actually gonna see things right now. So AI Johnny, check this out. So we actually have this. Let's make it on the big screen. Let's make it a little bit bigger. AI Johnny, that's pretty realistic and pretty cool.
So the drone is behind the drone. There's a fleet of drones.
Yeah. Let's see another one. Let's see this one. That one's actually pretty cool too. A neon city. They did a really good job of nailing actual video.
That's the same city, but rather it's just Christmas time now.
AI Johnny, it's actually pretty cool how all these models statistically will generate something relatively close based on the text that you actually put in. So we actually have 3 videos coming in. So that's what we actually have with just that thing. Guys can actually play around more. But AI Johnny, let's actually get to the word of the day, because the word of the day is going to set up the entire show.
Okay. Word of the day is native audio. So native audio refers to soundscapes, dialogue, or sound effects generated concurrently with the video frames bound to the same context window. Sounds
Exactly.
very Hollywood-esque, brother.
Exactly. So native audio matters because historically generative video models were completely deaf, right? I know this is sounds so silly. Veo actually dropped in version 3 audio coming in about maybe what we say, Johnny, about 6 or 8 months ago, something like that. And right,
Yeah,
yeah, and there
yeah.
was no
And
sound.
but the right, and even when the sound came, the lips were off, and it was just off. But it's getting better and better and better. And then competitors came along, and until recently, competitors fell away. It's a crazy adventure we're watching here in the video wars. I heard this morning. I don't know if this is later in the show. I heard this morning that the amount of heat that it takes for these AI companies to generate this video is using so much water. You use 1 million gallons of water, 80% gets built off into the atmosphere. The last 20% is filthy and it can't be drank. It's going to cost more money to clean it. So they're now worried that making these videos is stripping our planet of water. Have you
Yeah,
heard that?
yeah, definitely there is a water crisis with respect to data centers, which is why SpaceX is going to actually build data centers in space, which is actually a really brilliant idea. I really do like it. I see Chris actually making love that comment. He says the water debt crisis. Yes, so that definitely going on AI, Johnny. It's we're lacking power and cooling and water and all these things to try to actually just make AI get better. Now, if we actually do hit AGI, all of these problems are going to be solved anyway. So desalination can become profitable. All these things. So we never have to worry about anything in the post scarcity world. So yeah, Johnny. I just can't wait for AGI. So let's get rid of all the water right now to make sure that we can get to AGI. All
So
right.
what do you want to have happen first? AGI or the second coming? Shout out to Thursday nights.
Shawna is actually again shout out to Shawna tonight for Thursday night. I'm actually gonna give her another shout out when she's on the show. So for for yeah, Johnny, I love it. Yeah, so for what's actually happening is Veo is actually doing a really amazing thing, and they're actually doing something that we haven't seen in the other models. Other models are trying to go for the wow factor of let's get get these copyrighted materials into the video. Let's get all these things. So I know Kling came out with their version 2.0 maybe 2 weeks ago, no, about a month ago, and they said, "Oh, we now have audio," which is great. They're a little bit behind. And then Seed Dance came out with their version, and their big thing that they went viral with was, "Oh, we actually have Hollywood actors fighting each other." Now, obviously, the Hollywood, put a cease and desist. You can't be using all those things. You actually heard Sora had a $1 billion deal with Disney, so they can use their characters. So everybody's pushing for things like, characters. If you have recognizable characters, you think you're going to win the game. But Gemini is doing something very differently. They're going for the audio player. And what happened is the audio play is actually quite subtle and they're dropping the price. So because of that, I just think the way they're thinking and the way they're going after things is actually very, very, very unique. All right. So, AI Johnny, you're right. So let's actually look at the killer features.
Killer features of so this is Veo 3.1 fast.
Correct. Light. You have to say 3.1 fast light. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
why is this tool crushing the competition? So let's look at first the killer features. And first of all, we need to clear up a massive point of confusion right now. So people don't understand the difference between Flow, which is what I just used, right? And we drop that in the app in the chat so you guys can actually know how to actually use that and go ahead and use your Google account to log in and create amazing videos. And Veo, right? We tend to use these words interchangeably, but they're really not. So let's actually explain what's the difference between Veo and Flow is. So what I want to explain is the interface or the thing that you use is is the thing that your mouse clicks on, your keyboard clicks in. That's the interface. So Flow is the actual workspace, right? It's like the car you're driving with the steering wheel and the dashboard. Veo is the engine underneath the hood that's actually doing the work. So Flow uses Veo as the model, as the engine to generate the videos, but Flow is just the application of the workspace that you're using to interact with the actual model. So again, just like we talked about in the previous classes, when using ChatGPT, you're using ChatGPT, the app, not the actual model, because the model could be different types of models, depending on what you're actually doing. If it's text to speech, text to image, text to text, those type of things. So AI journey. So that's the first thing to clear up. So a lot of people get Flow and Veo misunderstood. Does anybody have any questions on what the difference between Flow and Veo is? AI journey, do you think it was actually clear?
I think that I think that it's kind of like having this great production studio, and Flow is just sort of like the door that you walk through to get inside. So it's like one is like layered on top of the other.
Okay,
That's
all
what I
right.
think.
All right, I like that. I like that. I like that. Yes, because guess what? All of these models underneath, or the is the powerhouse of actually what's going on, and most people never ever interact with the actual engine, right? So if you think about it, if you buy a car, let's use another analogy. If you buy, say, for example, a pickup truck, if you buy a SUV, or if you buy a lawnmower, most people don't actually care about the engine underneath. But most of the time, they actually have their own proprietary engine, like, say, for example, a Honda engine or some other type of engine that nobody really understands and really knows, except maybe a mechanic or really technical engineers or people who actually knows engines. But again, if you don't care about those things, the Flow is the thing that you're interacting with. So the lawnmower, you're only just interacting with maybe like, the string, and maybe you change the oil or change the blades. That's it. You don't actually go into the engine. Same thing like a car or a pickup truck. You don't actually deal with the engine. You only deal with just sitting inside the car, starting the engine, and that's it. You never even change the oil or anything most of the time. So hopefully that clears it up.
I get it. So I mean, if you buy a really nice car and it's got a really nice motor, a lot of times you bought the car because you like the real nice motor. There's sometimes they're interchangeable. You refer to the car and the year, and you're talking about this particular dual eight, whatever. And so the engine is important, but the car is just a wrapper that goes around it.
Yep. You're so right. So that was one of the big things we want to make sure we clarify for a lot of people. Now, the model changes quite a bit, right? They actually make changes and upgrades as behind the scenes, and they'll give you access to those things. So, like how AI Johnny, you have some cars have, say, for example, heated seats, and some cars don't have heated seats. Did you know that all cars technically would have the features, but you see those little buttons sometimes that's blank on your on the car, and you're like, why is there a blank button on my dashboard? Why can't I press this blank button? The car is actually manufactured or wired for that feature. It's just that they actually don't put it in. So technically, they just hide certain things away from you. So that's exactly what's going on behind the scenes with these models as well.
Really, the feature's there, the button's not.
Well, the feature and the wiring is cheap to leave the wiring in, but not the actual components. So let's say, for example, we're doing something, say, for example, like wiring to 12 speakers in the car. Whether you have 12 speakers, 9 speakers, or 8 speakers, depending on what sound model you get, the wiring will always be there, but there won't be the 12 speakers because the speakers are expensive, the wiring is cheap. So they make one bundle that goes to all the places, and then you may not have the upgraded premium sound, so you don't have the expensive components that they're not going to give you, but the actual pieces are there for the infrastructure. So does that make sense?
Does.
All
If the
right.
wiring's there, I think the car company would be pushing for you to get the last 8 speakers.
Exactly.
Like, man,
Exactly.
you already got the wiring, man. Just buy these expensive speakers. You got more money now.
Exactly. All right. Yeah, Johnny, that reminds me, BMW actually came out with a subscription price for heated seats that you have to pay, I think, $100 a month for heated seats, and the market went crazy. They hated that because if you don't pay your $100, they actually shut off your heated seats. Isn't that funny?
They should pay by the degree.
All right, guys, let's get into the pricing, because what's going to happen is the pricing should be, the pricing itself should be at least known to you guys, because if you guys don't know the pricing, you're not going to understand the problems that the video generators and why maybe Sora actually shut down. So yeah, Jen, let's talk about the pricing.
Sure. So we've got this, I guess they have a dabbler, which is free, right? If you're just a consumer using Flow, there isn't a strict dollar cost, but you use a quota. The lighter models are significantly less for your daily quota. So like most of the models, you can dabble with it for free, but eventually you'll hit a paywall.
Yeah.
And
So
then they have a
so
feature
wait,
called,
wait,
go ahead.
hold on. So before we actually get to a little bit more details, yeah, Johnny. So I want to actually explain the bifurcation or the separation of the pricing model. So let's talk about money to make sure you guys understand us. So when you talk about a video model, right, to get access to this new update is actually crazy. There's two ways to actually get to to get to this, right? The consumer flow using Flow, or the developers using the APIs, right? So because there's two ways to actually get access to it, the consumer uses Flow. So the website that I actually just linked to you guys in the chat, Flow is how consumers go to it. Now, developers would actually use the API, and it's a fraction of the cost of what it used to be, right? So like AI Jenny was saying, so let's take a look at the actual pricing ladder. So AI Jenny, just do me a favor, repeat again what you said about the pricing for the consumer side of things, please.
So if you are a consumer using Flow, there isn't a strict dollar cost, but you do use a quota. So you're given a certain amount of minutes or tokens or credits or whatever for free. The lighter models use significantly less of your daily quota.
All right, so let's go ahead and show what exactly AI Johnny said here. So, if you actually look here, guys, AI Johnny, can you see the bottom of my screen? Is it Let me turn off that sound. It's a little bit too noisy. All right, so if you actually see the bottom of my screen here, in this button it says video, and if you actually click, because I'm actually using Veo 3.1 Lite, if I say one video is actually using 5 credits. Can you see that, AI Johnny?
Uh-huh.
All right, so it's using 5 credits. The other Veos, the quality actually uses 100 credits for the quality version, and for the fast version uses 10 credits. So technically, you actually get really, really, really high grade video at 5 credits. Now, what that means is that it's practically 1/20th the price of quality, and it is half the price of Veo fast, but this is actually light. And again, the only difference is in terms of quality is you're actually capped out at 1080p, which is going to be more than good enough for all the things that you're actually doing. So if you're doing anything that is, non-production, going into Hollywood studios or IMAX, you don't need to actually go that high. So Google has given us a really good option here to go with just 5 credits. And I think on the free version, I think most people only get 150 or 120 credits per day, which means that these 5 credits is going to go very, very, very far. It's going to go double your usage.
So I have a theory with regards to these free credits. So, I'm spending I was spending a lot of time in the video making thing during our viral phase, and now I'm spending a lot of time in the OpenClaw, Manus, agentic AI space. And they both have either a free or a low cost version that gives you so many credits or tokens or whatever you want to call it each day, but then they re-up each day. So what I've found is if I stay on like manus.im, if I just stay on it in one conversation all day, at some point during that day, it'll say, dude, you have maxed out your credits, and it'll allow you to pay some more just to use that thing that day. Same thing is true with videos. If you're using videos, if you keep making VO videos, you'll eventually hit a paywall. You'll burn out your free. You'll even burn out the relatively light plans. So here's what I do. I go on Manus until I feel like I'm about getting close to my thing, and then I stop using Manus, knowing it's going to re-up tomorrow morning, and then I'll go over to Veo and I'll start doing Veo stuff, and I'll use that until I think I'm about to hit a wall, and then I'll go over to Nano Banana, I'll start doing that, and then I'll go over and I'll start, I don't know, I'll hit what's the one, Claude Co-work, and I'll start doing some of my sales work. And I don't use any of these things for more than an hour or two because I don't want to hit that paywall. But by the time I get through my cycle of all the different things that are threatening me with paywalls, I hit the end of the day, I come back the next morning, clean slate on all of them.
Yep,
So it's not easy to do. You got to hit a few paywalls before you can figure out where those barriers are. But it's one way to do it. If you're going to live in an AI world and you're going to be playing with AI virtually all day long, like Junior and I are doing, you got to learn ways to end run some of these paywalls.
Yep, you're so right. Yeah, Johnny. So Rita actually has a question. Who are their biggest competitor? So Rita, assuming you're actually asking about who is the Veo's biggest competitor right now. So there's only two in the game. So Kling and Seedance. Sora we cannot recommend because Sora is actually going away. Sora is OpenAI's version. So if you're going to try to go with a competitor to Veo, then you're really only left with two options. Now, there are other options out there, but those are not the big players to actually really recommend. So I'm sure there's lots of other little smaller competitors out there that we're also not aware of as well. All right, AI Johnny. So you're welcome, Rita. All right, so let's actually look at this AI Johnny. So we talked about the consumers, right? So the consumers itself, it works out to be you use tokens. So because consumers use tokens, let's look at the developer price. And the reason why I want to look into the developer price is because if you understand the cost of video, everything else becomes clear. So AI Johnny, let's actually talk about how much do you think it costs? Not to put you on the spot. How much do you think it costs? Obviously, we have it on the screen here. How much do you think it costs to actually generate 1 second of video with their Veo standard version?
You want me to guess or
Well,
read?
well, you can read. You can read it.
40 seconds for the standard, and it's 15 cents for the fast.
Yeah. So guys, so guys, what AI Jenny just said. So it's 40 seconds. Sorry, 40 cents per second for video generated in the quality version, right? So what that means is like 8 seconds video costs $3.20 to generate. Okay, an 8-second video costs $3.20 to generate. Now, what happens is the version that you're using right now, that we just used to generate this amazing video right here, that was an 8-second video, and that 8-second video itself, the pricing is 8 cents. So it will be 8,864. So it was 64 cents to generate one of those videos. That 64 cents, I did it 4 times. So was that like $2.50 or something like that? I don't remember the math, but yeah. So
56.
thank you, Johnny. I love it. So the point is, the price itself for one video was $3.20. Now we're down to 64 cents for a video, which is actually, Google's actually undercutting practically everybody because I've never seen prices this cheap. So every time you generate a video, just think it's about 64 cents on the light version. And then AI Johnny, on the fast version, if you're to do it, it's 15 cents. It's about double the price. So it's going to be about $1.20 or so for one video if you're using the middle version.
Well, movies are an hour and a half long. We're doing 8 seconds at a time at 256 per 8 seconds. That's gonna add up.
Yeah, definitely.
If you want to be in the movie game, you got to be in the movie game. I mean, the truth of the matter is that the price is for the price of a cheap cup of coffee, you get an entire drone crew, a Foley artist, and a Hollywood camera operator. So the ROI is really good because if you walk into a Starbucks for that same price, all you get is a cup of coffee.
You're so right. And just for my developers out there, we do have a link to the actual API pricing. And I'm not sure if you guys can actually see on the screen because, Google's pricing website itself is a little tiny. But I just want to put it on the screen just so you guys can see. So you can actually get, as low as 720, you can get 40 cents. But if you go up to 4K video, it's about 60 cents. And coming soon, they mentioned that for the fast, it's going to come down from 15 cents to about 10 cents, 12 cents, and 30 cents for 720, 1080, and 4K videos, respectively. And as you can see, Veo 3 Lite is going to be as cheap as 5 cents for 720p video. So even though we mentioned that 8 cents per second cost, it actually is going to be coming down to about 5 cents if you actually do 720. Now, we don't recommend 720p. It's a little too low on the quality. But if you're just using it for something generic, I think 5 seconds for 8-second video, 5 cents per second for an 8-second video is actually the cheapest you'll probably get out there.
All right. So have we covered the side hustler and the powerhouse?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to go deep?
Of course.
All right, everybody, cover your eyes and your ears if you don't care about API keys, Python scripts, or Chinese techie talk. Junior, what's under the hood?
All right.
What advanced or really technical things are possible with this new Veo 3.1 Fast Lite?
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing, guys. Because pricing is so cheap, right? Scalability becomes now possible, right? Before, when you're actually thinking of doing things programmatically, if you were to generate hundreds of batch clips, it would have cost you tens of thousands of dollars per month just to be able to do regular video. With this going this cheap, you can actually run batch jobs, generate hundreds of concurrent videos, and be able to just send it to the APIs. And things like getting the weather, right? Having a nice little image in your app. If you're an app developer out there and say, hey, I want to put a nice image of the weather, of what it's going to look like, it becomes now very, very cheap. If you're a user paying a subscription cost, that cost may be so cheap it might be worth it. There's another thing called frame interpolation. So it's where you actually take a frame and you take another frame and say fill in the frames in between. So you can actually do things like, start animation and end animation, or you can actually lock down. Those are cool things as well. They also have multimodal grounding. So you're not just limited to text. You can actually upload a reference image and ground that character, that object in, and then you can actually do a text to video based on that, so you can force the actual model to lock in or ground that image into your video. So it's actually all these features that Veo always had is also available in Veo 3.1 Lite. All right. Thanks, Shawna, for that. All right. AI Johnny, let's go to the takeaways.
All right, let's bring it back down to earth. How do you use this today creatively and for your business? So if you have a marketing agency, you can generate bespoke background B-roll for client ads without buying stock footage. So the money that you're spending on Veo 3.1 Fast Lite is money that you're no longer spending on stock footage, and it's just as yours. I mean, it's your own. It's not something that you're going to get sued or pulled off of YouTube for. If you're a YouTuber, you can create highly specific visual transitions or establishing shots for your documentaries. So for those of you that want to become a YouTuber or an influencer on YouTube, we're moving in the right direction. If you're a musician, you can build complete reacting visualizers with native audio ambience for Spotify Canvas. That should have been in the technical list, brother. Junior?
Yeah.
What else do we have on the technical side?
All right. So the good thing about having something this cheap with APIs, right? Veo, you now can also integrate with custom profile videos for even Pennies. So I'm not sure if you guys have used WhatsApp and they know they have moving avatars or those type of things. Imagine putting your picture and saying, hey, I want to actually create a motion avatar of myself. So you can actually have those things. So app developers can actually pull that thing in and turn their static images and give a little bit more nicer pop to your videos, to your avatars. Game designers can use things like mock-up quick environmental cutscenes or special effects animation for storyboarding. And e-commerce, you can automate image to video pipelines to turn static product photos into dynamic showcases. And another thing I want to mention here is all these videos today, we actually did generate them with the Veo Flash, with Veo Lite, Veo 3.1 Lite. And I wanted to see what the difference was. I didn't notice a difference. The images, it looks just as great. I mean, they all have sounds. If I turn on the sound here, right? They sound great. It's just that we don't want to kill you guys with the actual sound. But all these videos itself were generated with Veo Lite. All right. This is the time for this part of the show where we actually get into questions. Again, so if you're on live stream, ask your question in early. AI John is going to queue those up. Does anybody have any questions or comments or thoughts on what we showed today with respect to Veo 3.1 Lite? I know it's actually it's relatively new. Not many people know about this, so we're actually one of the first people actually doing a little bit of deep dive on this. Even though this is actually a nice hidden AI app feature that we're actually doing here. Anybody have any questions? All right.
I've got stuff from the chat, brother. Neon22 has a question.
All right.
Apparently, Neon is confused, wants to know if you're paying 8 cents a second, or am I just using the Flow website and paying nothing at all?
Yeah. All right. It's a common confusion. So just like how people don't understand the difference between Flow and Veo, this question is going to come up a lot. So let's take just a second just to make sure we understand. So when you're building something, right, usually you have really two models that you're building for. And if you're starting a business, these things, or if you're running a business or you've interacted with something, you're going to hear these terms before. And these are the terms that you'll hear. You'll probably hear B2B or B2C. B2B means business to business, and B2C means business to consumer or business to customer directly. Now, the reason why you actually have to take a different mindset when you're doing different is because the consumer, how you sell to the consumer, is very different than how you sell to the business. So Flow is the actual consumer version of the app. Consumers will just want to go to a website, type in what they want to their prompt, hit enter, and get the data back. Businesses don't want to manually type into a website and get data back. They want to use an API. They want to write some code and put it into their business workflow pipeline to make the thing actually work. So the pricing we actually showed was 8 cents per second was for the business to business. That's if you're a developer, if you have a business that you want to incorporate this into your pipeline. Let's pretend you're a bakery and you want to be able to show quickly you made some really, really nice cake and you want to show and put that on Instagram. It may not be a bad idea to take a picture of that cake you just made, turn it into a video with Flow, and then put it on. But you're going to do that manually. What if you could actually just integrate with the API and you just put your files into a folder and it automatically generates the videos for you so you can, and it will automatically send it out to Instagram for you. So those are the business workflows that you don't want a human typing in a website. So, so Neon, just to make sure I answer your question, the 8 cents that you pay is only if you're a business using the API. If you're just using your manual typing to type into the website, it's going to be just using your tokens, and you pay either a flat fee for that or it's free based on the tokens you get per day. Yeah, Johnny, hopefully I answered that question.
Well, if you're the guy that has it, as soon as your images get loaded, it triggers some activity that acts for a flow to turn it into a video. And then your agent takes that video and posts it up on YouTube and on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, which is great. And they're 8 cents or they're $2.56 a piece. Where things get tricky is when it decides to just raid your whole hard drive and make every image a video and every image up on it. And then you go to your bank and find that there's no money in the bank because it hit your credit card for every single dime you had, and it's still not done turning your images into videos. So heads up on that.
Exactly. So yeah, again, but having a cheap ability to create these videos, if you're a business or if you're thinking about creating a business or some kind of idea, This is actually a really, really good thing that Google did, and I'm really, really impressed that they dropped the price down to 8 cents per second. So these videos are actually pretty amazing. All right, yeah, Johnny. Any other questions?
I got a Ninja 99 wants to know if she can extract just the native audio if she only wants the sound effects.
All right, great question. So I've been using Flow for a long, long, long time now, and I'm really impressed with how they package and the container they actually use. Again, this is a little bit technical. The container they use is an MP4 container. So if you've ever seen the MP4 at the end of it, because it's an MP4, the video and the sound are actually separate inside. So you can actually use apps to be able to extract the audio. My favorite is Canva. You just right click on the video and say extract audio, and you can actually get the actual audio out of it. So very, very easy to actually do that.
Future, I guess it's present thinker, wants to know with tools this cheap, what happens to the traditional drone pilots? Are drone pilots now going to go away because we can just simulate a drone pilot?
You know what,
Or
yeah,
are they
Johnny?
only being used for warfare now?
Oh, Johnny, these are great questions, and if you guys want to actually hear more about our future talks, every single Friday at Airhead Institute we talk about future and joblessness and those other things. We're resetting the series in the month of April, and we're talking about human longevity, pushing the boundaries with AI and human life expectancies. So you don't want to miss that. No, the question is, are drone pilots going to be my personal belief is that I think they're already autonomous. I think they really just have an operator just to be able to do certain things. And I think that's the reason why the government wanted Anthropic to say this should just be fully autonomous, because I think they're already there. I think the humans just there just to oversee that it doesn't really do anything bad. Just like a big, big secret, most planes actually fly on their own. The pilot really does nothing. And I don't want to belittle what pilots do, but most airplanes itself flies itself, and you don't even need a human in there anymore.
I don't think we're talking about the drone pilot going away and the drone staying there to fly itself. I think what we're talking about is the drone itself going away and Veo 3 just simulating itself as a drone, which brings me back to obviously you can't have simulations of a drone if the drone has a mission like they're doing in Iran. But that also brings up the question, all these videos that we're seeing of these drones that are flying in warfare and they're taking out targets, how do we know that that's not Veo 3?
There might be, but you know what? You can always check the watermark. They have these digital watermarks inside, so we can always just look at it and see if these things are digitally created.
I don't know how to find the watermark.
We'll
You?
we'll show you guys with tools that they have. So Google actually has a synth ID detector that you can actually go ahead and check to see if these things actually have synth ID inside. So remember, guys, if you're gonna create your videos, there's always a way to be able to figure out where the origins of these videos are. All right, yeah, Johnny. No, I know this is breaking.
News?
I know this is breaking news, and the first headline on the breaking news is obviously what we did today. And the reason why we're talking about Veo 3.1 Lite is because it only came out yesterday, right? So yeah, Johnny, go ahead.
Google drops Veo 3.1 Lite, dropping just yesterday. Google released a lighter, faster video generation model. As we showed, it costs less than half the price of a standard model, supports 1080p, and still includes that incredible native audio, and we will probably use it to have a breaking news graphic on tomorrow's news.
Or today's news.
Maybe. Anthropic's Claude code leak is in chaos. Anthropic accidentally leaked the full source code of their flagship Claude Code CLI. Some of my code is in there, by the way. They used a massive DMCA takedown, but it got forked over 44,000 times. Developers have already ported the leaked code into multiple programming languages. So Anthropic's got their hands full, and there's a malware warning. There's always malware warning. Threat actors are already using hype from the Claude Code leak to distribute Trojan malware disguised as leaked source code on GitHub. I'll be on the lookout for that. Don't take it if it's offered to you. Don't download the random zip files claiming to be the code. So what a massive season premiere.
Johnny, hold on. I want to actually just give an extra warning, because I know we actually try to give relevant news here, and I want people to hear us and hear us really, really well. AI is moving so fast that the bad guys are actually, so that last story about the malware, the bad guys are actually moving as fast as the actual technology. Yeah? So just like how regulation has not caught up to AI yet, eventually it will. What these new technologies is a place where people can actually learn, do some really good things, but it can also be used to do bad things. So keep in mind that Anthropic's Claude Code itself is an amazing piece of software. If you actually want to be able to use it to, write some code, it's actually really, really great. But the fact that it got leaked means now everybody has access to this $8 billion piece of software that's actually generating revenue. So the point is, you may want to just go ahead and jump on that bandwagon, but make sure you're downloading from a reputable source. Don't just download the first thing you find on a Google website, because it could be an ad that is actually for spyware or malware. Yeah, thank you, Shawna. So Shawna says, my thought exactly, how fast the bad guys got it. Right. Go ahead, Johnny.
I am immediately going to jump into Google Flow and generate a cinematic trailer for my dog's daily walk, or use Google Flow to simulate that I walk my dog at all. And a quick message to the Google Flow and Veo team. We know you're watching. Our students are hungry to master this. If you want to partner with Airhead Institute to create the ultimate mastering Veo 3.1 flashlight series, you know where to find us. Tomorrow is Friday, which means we're diving into the biological upgrade. That sounds scary. We'll be talking about the radical life extension and the 100-year plan. You don't want to miss that. If you're under 100 years old, please join us. Junior, take it away for us, will you?
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. Just a reminder, it is Thursday. That means tonight is the season premiere of Shawna's Bible study. We see Shawna actually online. So she's going to be kicking off the continuation. And remember, tomorrow is Good Friday. So it's actually a special episode tonight. So if you actually want to see the continuation of last week's episode, please join us at 7 p.m. Eastern Time right here at Airhead Institute, completely free. So sign up for a free account at airheadinstitute.ai. You can RSVP to all our shows and get reminders when we actually have shows coming up. And the replays are available on YouTube for a short period of time. And make sure you actually watch it before it's gone. We'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, later.
That wraps up today's AI Power Up. If you joined late or you're new here, welcome to Airhead Institute. This is your daily destination for mastering artificial intelligence. We designed this lineup for everyone, whether you're a technical pro looking to upskill or you just want to chill and learn something new on your lunch break, we've got you covered. Our classes evolve every single month, so you're always on the cutting edge. And the best part? It's totally free to join. Once you're in, you can get live tips on your AI projects in our AI office hours and even enroll your kids in our Airhead After School program. Scan the QR code to join the community right now and make sure to like and subscribe at Airhead Institute on all socials. Guided by your hosts AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're here to help you win. Remember, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind. We'll see you next class. Bring a friend.